Resume, a one-page summary of you that demonstrates your professional skills and experience. The content is what matters the most in a resume. But if you're like me, you care about the look and the layout so much, which leads you to spend hundreds of hours adjusting spacings, fonts, and eventually cutting out contents to make it look good. In this video, I will show you how to build a resume for a visual perfectionist by using Figma and by using a design system. I'm Aliena and welcome to my channel. Let's get started! First thing first, let's build a file in Figma. Figma is free for everyone, so if you're not a designer, I also strongly suggest you to create an account, and it's just really good for designing everything. So let's build a letter size page and name it design system. Yes, first thing first, we have to start with the design system. Don't just go directly to the resume. And in the design system, we need 5 text, one for heading 1, one for heading 2, one for heading 3, another for body, and another for a small text. So what I'm doing here is I'm just copying the basic text and then make it distribute a line. Now let's change the text for the headings. So as I said, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, body, and a small text. Now what we need to do is adjust the font, the spacings, the size for each of the elements. And I will also paste a sticker sheet here if you want to just copy the style I'm using, which is totally fine, by the way. I think Graphic is the font that Google always use. It's pretty nice. I like it, so I'm using it for everything. For heading 1, you can make it bigger. You don't have to make it 22, you can make it 25. Now after you finish designing for each style, please make sure that you add it to the library or the style system. 4 dots there, and then add the button, and then name the style. The reason that we're doing this here is because later on, if you want to change any field in your resume, you simply need to change the master style, and then it will change the entire resume. So let's say if you want to make all the content a little bit smaller, instead of doing like one by one, you can simply just change the body style, and then the entire resume will just change it by itself. Now what we need to do is to have 3 theme colors. One color that's just your color, another color for text, so something similar to black, another color that looks like grayish. This is for things like city, years, those informations. So for me, I think 3 colors are totally enough. Just make sure that all the colors you choose can form a contrast with the white background. Otherwise, people wouldn't be able to read it clearly. Now what you need to do is to add those colors also to the style system. So you can click the 4 dots button there, add, and then name it. So things like green, text, gray, whatever you like. But it's super important to add it to the style system. Now let's move to the actual resume part. So here we go, build another frame using letter size, and you can name it anything like your name plus resume. Now finally, we will do the content of the resume. Usually we start with the name on the top, and I can just use the heading 1 style, and it will just change to the heading 1 style that I like. I'm using heading 2 for my job title. I'm a UX designer, so that's why I'm writing UX designer. I'm not just a UX designer, but I mean this is a UX design resume, so you just write things about UX designer. Now let's do like the overall structure of the resume. So usually I will go with experience first, project next, and then following by skills, tools, education. It depends on what you want to highlight. If you want to highlight your education, then put it first. If you want to highlight your projects, then put it first. So whatever you want to highlight, just put them first. I'm still using heading 2 for all these fields, but I bolded them and then used the gray color. Now let's go to the detail of each description. So I'm going to start with my current role and then use the text heading 3. Heading 3 is what I will use for the job title and also the company title. For the time and the location, I'm going to use small text. I think that's a bad way to name it. But I mean, it's a really straightforward way to name it, right? And then we'll use gray right here. So just in case you want to change, the font or the layout, you can change it in the design system. Now I'm making it to italic because I want to make it italic. So you see, it changed to italic by itself. Left align, I'm using 5 for spacings. Now I'm just going to copy the description I already wrote before to here. And for the body, I'm using body style. For width, I will use 660, and then change it to body. And definitely using the text color. So now you can see that we already finished making one field. Now the important part, please use auto layout. Auto layout is super important. That's because if you add one sentence, the thing will adjust by itself. And then create a component. Create a component is also important because if you want to change the layout of one component, everything will change by itself. You see? I'm just changing the spacing to 15 and it all changed by itself. Now copying the other informations. This is just copy and paste. And now if you copy the entire field and paste it, it will just auto layout by itself, which again saves a lot of time. So for the detailed information of each description that I had here, I always find it difficult how to describe what I did and brand myself. So if you have any suggestion, please let me know. My overall suggestion to writing down the information is basically what you did, who you partner with, and what's your impact. Now let's go to projects, and then we'll just copy the entire field I had before. I have 2 projects that I can showcase in my resume. I have more projects, but I want to only showcase 2 projects. And because these 2 projects are showcased in my portfolio, which you can check out at elenacai.com. This is just my resume in 2021, so if you see something totally different in 2022, don't be surprised. I change my resume and portfolio like every single week. So for tools, just copying all the tools I know right there, using the text, color, and then, Then let's do skills. Just copying the tools and then copying the skills I have from my Notion, adjusting the spacing, and finally education. For education, I will use a similar style from what I have on the left. I'm going to first write down the name of the education. I did Google UX Design Certificate. You can put that in your resume. Companies that like Google probably will take it. Companies that don't like Google probably won't take it. So I have a video for that, which got me a lot of views. Check it out. I'll put a card somewhere here. So again, I'm just adding the date. I'm just adding the city, the date, and then the descriptions. Add auto layout. Auto layout will adjust the spacing automatically, and then you can also type the exact spacing you want, and anytime you want to adjust the spacing, it will adjust itself. I think I also added a component, did I? Okay, I don't remember. And then for my degree, I graduated from Minerva University. I don't know if you have heard of it, but it's a really, really interesting program. I will make a separate video for that. Minerva has changed my life. Yes. But most people don't know, so it's just hard to showcase it in my resume. Now is the second final step, which is just to simply adjust the spacings and everything. I'm taking out one of my skills so that it fits. Now the final part that's missing in this resume is your contact info, your design portfolio, which is super important, and then just any other thing regarding to contact you want to showcase. In my resume, I put my portfolio link using the theme color that you want to choose, and my YouTube link, and some fake informations because I don't want you guys to know. So remember to underline any link that people can click. Again, I'm just like changing the spacings over again to make it look better. Now, final step, please export it. Just roll down to the bottom of the right bar and then there will be export. Please choose PDF and then your resume is good to go. One thing I want to say is that you don't have to build your resume in Figma. You can also build it in Pages, Words. All of them have like design system built in. That's the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 field. And then you can also adjust them there. But I think a lot of people don't use it. Like I didn't use it before because I thought it's just a one-page resume. Why do I want to, build a design system for a one-page design? But then I realized that even if it's just one page, there's still so many fields you can change around. It's so much better if a few months ago I focused on, writing the content, showing my impact instead of just changing the layout every day. That's it for the video. If you have any question, leave a comment down below. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm Aliana and see you next week.